Well, hi, everybody. My name is Allie Davidson, and I'm with Camp Gladiator, and I'm so excited to be here today at the Triga 2021 conference. Thank you guys so much for having me. And we're excited to share a little bit about our Camp Gladiator story and journey. And hopefully you guys have some takeaways from that. And just really, it's been cool to learn more about what you guys do. And we're here to help support you guys along the way. So my background is that I grew up in Austin, Texas. That's where we're based out of right now. That's where our headquarters is. I played every sport growing up. So any sport you could get into, I was into. I played varsity softball, basketball, volleyball, and cross country for my high school growing up. And then I went on to play college basketball at Ole Miss and Texas State University here in the States. And, that was always my passion. That was always my heart and my love, is being on a team and working out and, getting to compete in a sport. And so I did that my whole life. And at the age of 24 years old, basically right after I graduated from college, my husband and I, we were engaged to get married, Jeff and I. The night before my wedding, my sister, who is my maid of honor, ran up to me and she said, "Hey, Allie, do you want to do one last crazy thing before you get married?" And I was like, yeah, duh. She knows me very well. She knows that I love to do spontaneous, adventurous things. And so it was kind of the perfect fit. She said, "Well, American Gladiators, the TV show, is having tryouts just down the street from your wedding. You should go before the wedding and go to the tryout." And so this was all last minute. Basically, what happened was we woke up the next morning and it was kind of a runaway bride type of situation. I went missing. My whole bridesmaids posse and I went to this tryout. Nobody knew where we were. And by the time we get to the tryout, there's like 2,000 people in line. And so my sister's like, "What have I done? She's going to miss the wedding. She's going to want to stand in this line." Well, so, we have to think of something. So we're like, "Well, wait a second, I'm getting married today." So we throw on my veil, we throw on my garter, we run up to the front of the line, beg the producers to let me cut and do the tryout. And so luckily the tryout was like a bunch of sprints on a basketball court and burpees and pull-ups and stuff I'd kind of been doing my whole life. And so I did really well in the tryouts, and we had to race back to the church, and we made it there just in time for me to kind of towel off, throw on my dress, throw on some makeup, and walk down the aisle. And Jeff and I ended up getting married, and luckily I ended up making it on the show, and I won the whole show for the females in 2008. So I was the grand champion. And after an experience like that, I was like, man, I got to do something with this opportunity. I feel called to do something with this. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And so Jeff and I, we started thinking and praying about, was there a bigger reason why we were on this show? And so that's where I felt really called and led to start Camp Gladiator. And basically what Camp Gladiator is we're an adult outdoor group fitness program. And so it really took the components of me growing up, playing sports, being on a team, being in that environment. And we said, what if we bring this to to adults in kind of a boot camp type of environment? And so this was in 2008. So I launched my first month of camp. And, I had to hustle to get people to sign up and show up. I mean, yes, I had a little bit of semi publicity and fame that was very short lived from the show. And obviously we utilized that as much as we could. But I really didn't have anybody signing up just for that reason alone. I had to go out on the street and meet people and personally invite them out to camp and ask them to show up and eventually sign up for camp. And so the first month, I offered a morning location and an evening location, and I had 40 campers. The second month, they kind of fell in love with the experience. I really focused on the culture and building relationships. Meanwhile, I was out there, trying to get the word out, marketing and sales. The second month, I had 60 campers. The third month, I had 80 campers. The fourth month, 110 campers. By that point, Jeff and I's heads are kind of swirling around. We're going, whoa, we have a legitimate little business starting here. And then we decided, we need to start onboarding some other trainers. And so I started onboarding other trainers and kind of teaching them the ways of CG, of how I wanted the experience to be delivered. We also created a very unique business model that really empowered trainers to be partners with us. And so, we kind of figured out, obviously, the back end side of the business. We figured out a great business to complement what the trainers are uniquely gifted at. And we're super blessed that we just celebrated our 13th birthday. So fast forward many years and many funny stories and a great journey along that way. But we have currently 150,000 registered campers this month at CG, with over 1,000 trainers at over 4,000 locations across the US. And so we knew that if we wanted to be successful, we knew that partnership was going to be the way for us, right? And one of the foundational reasons that we learned early on that was a key part of our business model was that we realized that trainers like myself were very good at some things and we're very bad at some things. Trainers are great at relationships and culture and creating experiences and creating workouts and accountability. And they're really great also at local marketing and sales and forming those connections in their community. What trainers are not great at is the financial side of the business or the technology or the legal or the back end office side, kind of the headache side of the business, right? And so we learned this early on when I was starting because that was my personality. And my husband compliments me very well because he has an opposite personality as I do. And so we really learned that man, there's probably a lot of other trainers out there in the fitness industry that are trying to do it all. And so we said, well, what if we create this platform where you get to be an entrepreneur, you get to focus on what you're great at, and we're going to share in the percentage of the profit here. And so, that's kind of where I would say the first part, even in the early years, was made very clear to us is that we were looking for business partners, and we call our trainers entrepreneurs. We don't call them just trainers because they're really building a business. And then over time, we fine-tuned our business model to where now they have the opportunity to be a franchise owner. And, really both us and them receive the benefits of that. And it's a much more scalable business model for us. So it's really cool. And, we provide, a lot of education to them, a lot of resources to them, a lot of the branding support, the marketing support, the technology support that they need to really grow and scale their business. And then they provide, the local community feet on the ground. Obviously, COVID changed everything, right, for everybody. And so we had to pivot and adjust very quickly. We had to be incredibly agile. And so luckily for us, our trainers are such go-getters and they're, entrepreneurs and partners with us, as I mentioned, that when we said, hey guys, we got to pivot and we got to pivot today, they were on board, right? And so what happened was basically overnight when COVID hit, we said, we can no longer offer our outdoor classes. And so we're going to offer classes virtually. And so what happened was basically all of our 1,000 trainers converted their garage or their kitchen or their living room, whatever it was, into their new workout studio. And we broadcasted live workouts at the normal times of when campers would be going to see their trainer. And it was very well received. Our campers were so grateful that we pivoted quickly. We were for sure the fastest in the fitness industry to pivot so quickly. And it's because of that business model relationship we have with our trainers. And so within about 24 hours, we were broadcasting live. So yeah, I think that if you want to stand out amongst your competitors, you got to do something different. You've got to, do something and really own your niche. And so for us, that's what we've tried to do. That's our focus. We don't pride ourselves on having the shiniest, fanciest equipment. We pride ourselves on creating an experience that you're going to fall in love with and where you're going to want to come back. So the most important ingredient in our recipe for success is making sure that we have the right trainers on board that are going to represent our brand well, that are going to create those experiences that people want to come back to, and that are going to stick with us for a long time. And so that's, where we put a lot of emphasis in our business is onboarding and selecting the right people, the right trainers that are going to do all those things and represent the company well. So I think whatever industry you're in, there's an opportunity to bring people together, love on them, create a positive impact on their life in some form or fashion. Eventually they start to ask, why is this company different? Why are these people so different? And then at the end of the day, we can point them back to the love of our God, and of Jesus Christ, and just saying, this is why we feel so called to do what we do. And it's a way that we get to have a mission field and a ministry and ultimately point them back to the love of the kingdom of God. And so that's what we try to do each and every day.